All right. Welcome back to another daily updates with A&M. Salam alaik. Good afternoon to you, Munir. Good morning to our viewers, our the floods of viewers that are about to come in the next couple minutes.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good everything to everyone. Aldin should definitely change name to something that starts with M, so we can start with welcome to the new episode of Eminem,
M&M.
Eminem.
This episode is sponsored by our brand new sponsor, Xience Energy. Only the mango guava flavor.
Man, you Americans, not
We ha-
only Americans,
we
but
have not struck a
Canadians
deal
as
with the
well.
other flavors yet.
But Canadians as well. When I hear like in Bosnia, we have everything that you have, but we don't use a lot of what you use. So if we say flavor of something, we usually use vanilla, chocolate, and that's about it. Like, but even though we know about others, and then I hear Americans starting with, Californian honey with whatever flavor with vanilla, I don't know what, and then this and then that. It's just,
Look, th- it all starts with freedom. When you have freedom
uh,
as we do, then mango guava flavor is possible. California honey nut Cheerios is possible. When you
yeah.
still live under without freedoms and paved roads, then you have to stick to vanilla chocolate and strawberry for your ice cream. But that's okay.
Well, we'll still have to work for our freedom then uh, to uh, to release these shackles from our hands and
When you have
uh,
freedoms, including the freedom of speech, man, and when every single morning you begin the day with a bald eagle, uh, reciting the national anthem, it's just a beautiful existence.
oh my God.
All right, let's dive in. Yesterday, in the news of yesterday, we had 37 drivers that were booked on 52 available drivers. 38 loads were booked, so there was really not many instances where drivers were booked on multiple shipments. 71.15% of our fleet was utilized, which is a bit under our target number. We aim for this number to be as close to 90% as possible, and we will continue to diligently work towards achieving that high mark that we set for ourselves. We appreciate our drivers and thank them for their patience and understanding. We had 405 bids on those 38 booked loads. Our follow up ratio was a bit under the target at 48.4%. Our bid win ratio was under our 10% target with 9.63, but very close, and a relatively high average driver pay at $700 yesterday.
We had a couple of those atomic loads that actually improved the average driver pay, and I think it's more of a the average here works for in favor of those big loads that we'll present later.
Yeah, we had a crazy one. We'll get there. All right.
We'll get there.
Next up, let's do a breakdown of what happened yesterday. We had 1,887 available shipments. We placed bids on 300, about 400 something of them. 69 were self-declined. 606 or 32% of the shipments were auto-declined. The reason for that is because with Memorial Day coming up, a lot of our drivers have more selected dispatch settings. They've activated much more red, so there's a lot of loads that are being declined, which also explains why we had far fewer bids than usual.
Hmm.
368 were dispatch declined, or about 20% of our opportunities. Again, the same reason, because there's a lot of loads that really wouldn't make sense with holiday coming up. And 22% expired, which is actually an upgrade from yesterday. I think yesterday we were at like 30 plus percent.
Third,
So great to see
31.
us drivers responding to more opportunities.
It's cool to see, definitely. And
Back to you, Munir.
Yeah, and definitely I checked even before the meeting, I checked the fleet, and the majority of our drivers have some kind of restricted dispatch settings, or home bias, or going home, or um, something very specific. So not all of them, but majority of them. And I understand that it's going to be a 3 day weekend. Some of them might want to be home. Others want to be very specific with where they go, because they want to. They have 3 days probably period where they will not be booked allegedly.
100%. On to the next. Code red. Back to you in the
Here,
studio, Munir.
yeah, here we go. You can see, majority on the list, as I said, related to their restrictions, such as the first one. He is home. So it's for him is he has a restriction around home and 7 bids out of 87. That's understandable because he doesn't want to go from home, until Tuesday. And then everyone else as well is either the second one on the list has very specific pick up today, delivery Tuesday, because he's home currently. So he wants to pick up something today and keep it until Tuesday. And everyone else pretty much on the list, I guess here I might be wrong with some of them. At least today, they are very restricted settings. Um, although we have a couple of guys on the list that had a high number of bids because they were in good region. Although this might be wrong, Aldin, because the number of bids I think might be counting even number of bids for other drivers in the same region,
Mmm.
and might be tied with
Preach.
them, because I know for a fact this guy 574, he's going home, wants to be home, so it doesn't make sense that we place 38 bids. It's unlikely that 38 bids were going home. So we need to check that.
Preach, preacher. Yeah, we need to make sure that it is right, but it's good data to see for people. In any case, when there are restrictions, generally what you're going to see is more missed opportunities than loads that we're going after.
Hmm.
All write-ups problem. A few drivers have reported bad weather conditions slowing them down on the road. Please check the weather forecast and stay safe. Take shelter if needed until the weather gets better. And report to dispatch. Your safety is always our top priority. Listen, your safety is always our top priority. We never want any of our drivers to drive when it is not safe to do so. Um, Pull over, take as much time as you need. Do not be driving when it's unsafe, whether it's because you're tired or because it's bad weather. Whatever the reason, never drive when you don't feel it's safe to do so. We would rather be late on a shipment than have you run off the road. Every single customer out there would rather a driver be safe than and late than risk their lives and the lives of others. With that said, that is number one. Number two, as a professional driver, it is your responsibility to do everything in your power to safely and securely deliver the freight that you're entrusted with. When our customer gives us a shipment, they expect that we're going to give it to a driver who's going to take the time to look at the weather forecast, to plan their route, to figure out when and how much they have to rest, and to work around that again within the confines of safety and security. So, just understand that it's your responsibility to plan your route, to know what the weather's going to be like, and to plan ahead for that. And anything that arises during a shipment, if you don't feel it's safe to continue driving, always feel free to pull over. Your safety is the number one priority. Back to you, Munir, in the studio.
Guys, I have nothing to add. Really, Aldin's been a professional driver. He knows ins and outs of being on the road every day. Apart from driving in my personal vehicle, I've never did that. And you know better than me what needs to be done, because it would be foolish for me to assume that you don't care about yourself or your family, or the job that you're doing. So thank you so much. Usually our drivers are very professional when it comes to this, and we try to hire always drivers that are professional in regards to this, and they understand all the limits and everything, all the dangers out there. So yeah, just let us know if you need any help.
Onward. Driver
Melody.
Spotlight Melody Paris, a comment by Omer. Melody is one of a kind. She advised that they're 1,700 miles away from making 100. Is it 100 or a million? Hold on.
A
One, two,
million
three.
miles.
Dang, 1 million miles. She bought the van with 23 miles, which is very fitting for her number 0 through 3. And it's proof once again that things don't happen without a reason. There's a greater plan and everything. Yeah, Melody is absolutely amazing. If we were a better company, if we were more organized, we would be highlighting and spotlighting Melody every single day. She's done enough to deserve that. Um, when she retires in 30 years, she's gonna have a jersey hanging off the banners, and her number is gonna be forever retired and embedded into the history of BHX. And we might even erect a statue of Melody outside of the office or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Uh, fun fact: 1 million miles on the band. That's 40 times around the whole Earth.
Woo!
40 times around Earth. Imagine that, man.
Dang,
Imagine that.
dang. And yet,
Allegedly, if
and
if
yet
if
she
Earth
complains
is,
about 100 empty miles, man. Come on. What's 100
don't do it.
miles?
Yeah, he does. Is she in the comments right now?
I don't know. No, maybe not. Hopefully not. We love our Melody Paris.
We do. We
All
do.
right, onward. Yesterday, Muhammad came in strong with 21 loads, Omer with 12, and Vedad with 4. We need to see these follow-up percentages go up. This is again our opportunity to throw our hat into the mix again. What happens, guys, is we submit a bid. 20 other carriers submit a bid after we do. Our guys are faster than other dispatchers. They're better, they're quicker, they're more accurate. But what happens is the broker, the customer who's covering the shipment, they get flooded with 20 bids. So when we do a follow up, we send them a follow up email and say, hey, don't forget about us. You've got the best carrier in the industry offering to move this freight for you. Forget about these other guys. Let's negotiate. Let's talk. If we need to lower our rate, let us know. So we have to be doing that on almost every single load that it makes sense to do it on. And our dispatch team understands what that statement means.
Absolutely.
The best load, I'll let you go over this, man. I don't want to take the joy away from you.
Thank you so much, sir. The best load we booked yesterday was actually a driver bid on this Melbourne, Florida, going up to Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. Northwest Territories is pretty much Arctic Circle, and our driver is going from tropic south to Arctic Circle almost in couple of days. So 4,000 total miles for $5,000. Now, he does have 1,800 miles go back to Fargo, so he calculated at least 50 cents a mile going back to Fargo, and he placed a bid $1 a mile from Florida up to Northwest,
Hmm.
and then he pretty much covered the fuel and every expense with that additional thousand. Beautiful load. We did loads to Alaska before, and I think Alaska, bar Alaska, this is the longest load that we ever did. So, well,
I
probably
believe
those
you're
two.
right. Yeah, I believe you're
Yeah,
right, man. We'll need to
may,
provide extra support along the way, make sure, that everything's going smoothly for this.
we will. Probably there is still snow up there, I guess maybe. I don't know. I'm not. I've never been there. But I've Googled it and I see that the polar lights and everything is now
Really.
normal thing up there. Yeah.
I might
And
join him on the trip then. Are they
there's a lot of
passing through St. Louis?
I think he is. And there's a lot of those Native American tribes up there, Inuit tribes, and it's nice to see like different cultures and everything else up
Wow.
there. Yeah, because in they're common in those provinces, I guess,
Wow. I'd
Yukon
love
and
to do this
Northwest
kind of a
Territories.
trip, man. You know what? You know what we're gonna do one day? Me and you. are gonna, inshallah, one day book a load like this. We're gonna come to the US together and do it. All right?
Yeah, I'd be up for that, man, any day, anytime. You know me. That's for that kind of joy, I guess we would have to. Although, man, there are polar bears up there. We would need to rent a gun or something when we we enter Canada. I'm not really.
We'll
Well,
talk to Melody.
we'll see. But polar bears definitely are scary, man.
All right, next one up. Not as glamorous when you look at that other load, but in its own right, it's a phenomenal, fabulous, fantastic ship, and the triple F effect. We got an Iowa to British Columbia, right across the border from Washington, from Seattle area. 2,000 miles for $2,200, so it's a good load. Coming back, we all know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, 60 to 70 cents a mile is probably going to be the norm. But if you can get a load back pretty quickly without losing much time and you add these two loads together, you're still making a pretty good amount of money overall. So it's a good load. Next
Indeed,
up on the list, the third best load, we got an
this is the best load.
Alabama. I'll let you cover it. Go ahead. Back to you in the
Uh,
studio, Munir.
We had a similar load this week as well. This is driver bid as well. This is insane load. This is insane load.
Insane,
1,000
okay?
Theodore, Alabama, going to Ontario. It is a little bit north in Ontario, but not far away from the civilization. And Toronto, maybe 200 miles. So it's 1,389 miles for $1,500, $1.08 a mile from Mobile, Alabama region, a Mobile, Alabama region, which is very scarce in loads. And this is just once in a blue moon we book something like this, and it's a beautiful load. Love it. Perfect load.
Is this for a driver whose vehicle number ends with 8?
Um,
No?
no, no, I
Okay.
think it's nine.
All right.
It's nine.
All right. Onward. Weather, thunderstorms, and tornado warnings. Tornado warnings were issued for severe storms in Nebraska, Iowa, Oklahoma, New York, and New Jersey. Guys, stay safe out there. I don't know the best protocol on the highway if a tornado hits. I don't know if you're supposed to hide under the van or if you're supposed to drive away or into the tornado. Um,
No, definitely not into tornado. Come on, come on, man. Did you just say that? Did you just say that
Didn't you listen,
live?
man? Listen to me. Didn't you hear
Okay,
about
let's.
those cows? That there's a certain
Well,
type of cows or all cows. I'm not sure. It's a motivational speech. When a tornado, when bad weather is coming, then a storm is coming. Not a tornado, perhaps, but a storm. They run into the storm, and by doing so, they're able to get out of it faster. Whereas the ones that are running away from the storm, they have to deal with it better. So I don't know the rules of tornadoes. I'm sorry, I'm not a tornadologist. I
have
am
you ever heard about eye of the storm? You heard about that term?
eye of the
Well,
tiger. I have Rocky.
maybe if you enter eye of the storm, and that's like the calm, like every storm has edges that are very wild and violent,
Uh
and
huh.
then there is eye of the storm that is super peaceful,
Uh
like
huh.
there's nothing happening in between,
See,
especially like hurricanes or tornadoes. So if you theoretically enter eye of the storm and move with the storm in perpetuity without stop, you would be safe, definitely. But apart from that, I don't see a way how you enter the storm and
everything we've
survive.
just said is purely for entertainment's sake. Do not take any of this as real advice. Do not try this at home or while on the road. All
100%.
right. On time performance, 98% is exactly where we want to be. Two unjustified late arrivals, 87 total stops. Phenomenal job, guys. I'm going to repeat this every single day. The thing that makes us a premium carrier in the eyes of our customers is our dependability, reliability, our technology, our customer service, and all of these things. But all of those other things depend on us providing good on time performance. If we are late on loads, the customers don't care about how nice we are, how professional we are, how great our technology is, or any of that other stuff. So
Hmm.
great to see our drivers have phenomenal on-time performance for yesterday. Keep up the good work. And also, I mean, we got to give a shout out to our operations team. They are the ones that are leading the charge in this. They're the ones that are calling drivers, coordinating, making sure things are moving smoothly. So, great job, everybody.
Shout
Onward,
out to all.
daily
Here,
quote. Man,
here it is
she's
again.
stuck on this pink fella.
Pink fella, but probably because it's the month of a pink fella here
It's
in
the
the
pink
company. And
month.
she,
The
the
secret
pink
to
month.
high performance isn't rewards and punishment, but that unseen, in, I cannot say this word, man. Intrinsic,
Intrinsic.
intrinsic. I cannot say that word. Intrinsic drive.
Intrinsic.
The drive to do things for their own sake. Absolutely.
Not.
No, man, absolutely. That's where it begins, right? If the person, like I'm reflecting back on our hiring of our building of our team process that we're still going through and that we've gone through and that we've built, if we've improved. But if you hire somebody who doesn't care about doing the right things initially, it's going to be almost impossible to get that person to do the right thing by implementing monitorings and KPIs and punishments and rewards and all of those things. The person has to innately care about doing the right thing. And I'll give the example again
True.
of Lance and what he said on that on the road podcast we did. His on-time performance is 100%. And when he started to explain why, he went back to talking about how personally he feels responsible to deliver stuff on time. How always that's been something he's prided himself on being on time. Every job he's ever had, he's never been late. He's not late to meetings or appointments, right? So intrinsically, he does this. He has a drive to do the right thing for its own sake. When if you translate that over to our dispatchers, if we hire dispatchers and if intrinsically they have a drive to book drivers because there's human beings out there at a truck stop whose family depends on that breadwinner making money, and the dispatcher's drive to book him is because that's the right thing to do. This guy, this driver, is counting on me to book him, then that is the best foundation. Now, with KPIs, with measuring sticks, with rewards, with commissions, with bonuses, with punishments and stuff like that, that's how you get that extra 10% in perfecting that, or extra 20 or whatever it is, right? But if you bring someone in who doesn't care about the outcome intrinsically, who doesn't care about it for its own sake, who doesn't care whether they book or don't book a driver, you're going to have to work twice as hard and you're still never going to get them to do, to be the optimal version of what you need. That's kind of what I take out of this.
I don't disagree, man. I don't disagree. But also, I wanted to just mention here, um, doing the things for their own sake. I kind of misunderstood that when you first read it. Uh, so if it means, as you said, doing the things to the best of your ability because of the things, because of it, not necessarily because you're afraid of the reward or of the punishment or you want the reward, of course, that's 100% true core value. And that aligns with our core values as well. And we try to, when we hire, as you said, we try to hire people that are kind of on board with that core value and on board with that mission statement, I guess, for us. Although um, rewards and punishments, that's I think should be in everything,
Mm-hmm.
always. Uh, that's how the society functions. That's how the world functions, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. That's how you whatever. That's how the upbringing of your kid may function or something like that. And also, I mean, in every major religion, they say, God says if you do good, you'll go to paradise. If you do bad, ill or evil, you'll go to hell. And that's how it starts.
Mm,
Now, people that are uh, aware of themselves and their surroundings and of God and everything else, they do it for the love of God, for the uh, for his for him to be pleased with the deeds and everything else. But in the back of their mind, they have and should have, or they have that thing called reward and punishment. So that's,
right.
I think, how even the universe is kind of, a lot of people believe that that's how it is made.
Yeah, I listened to a YouTube video by one of these entrepreneur fellas, and he was saying that um, performance that is measured is performance that you can expect the person to provide you optimal results. Without measurements, I've read in a book before, it's like trying to hit a target when you don't know where the target is, right? If people don't have measurements. So it goes both ways. I mean, it's not just getting people to even good performers, when there's no clear measurements, there's no clear targets, they don't have a sense of are they doing good or bad, right? But then also on the flip side, you can't identify who is underperforming if you're not measuring. So yeah, uh, but what he's saying is that fundamentally, the person has to care about doing the right thing for its own sake, and then you can build on top. But and we've gone down this path too, man. We've had people on the team that we've had to fire that did not care about doing the right thing for its own sake, and we spent entirely too much time trying to get that person to be, this version that does care about doing the right thing for its own sake.
Right.
All right, here are some fun holidays this weekend. Aviation Maintenance Technician Day. Okay.
Woo.
Cars Day. African Liberation
Carb.
Day. Viva
It
la
says
Africa.
carb. It says carb day.
I mean, why the hell did they put a picture of a vehicle, man?
For
I
racing
think it's supposed to say
enthusiasts.
Car Day. I think that's a
Nah, probably cars day.
carb.
Well, they put in
This is the day
for
for racing
Formula One.
enthusiasts. It's Carb Day, and we're okay. African Liberation Day. Africa's I don't know if I
Viva
should
la
celebrate or
Africa.
not, man. It's one of those
Why not?
places I don't ever know who the good guy is. It's ignorant of me to say that, but there's
What do
always
you mean?
conflict, and I don't know which side is. Maybe the liberation side is always the good guys,
Do
but
you know that
the
Ethiopia
Muffin
is the
Man.
only Ethiopia is the only country in Africa that doesn't have Independence Day? That means that the only country that is not colonized by the Europeans, meaning they didn't have to decolonize or and get Independence Day. Actually, when Italians wanted to invade Ethiopia, they defeated them in battle. I forget the name and the date, but they kicked their ass out of Ethiopia in like 1800s or something, 19 early
Viva
1900s.
la in Ethiopia, Viva la Africa.
Ethiopia.
Next up, we got the National Blueberry Cheesecake Day. Ah, man, and the next one
I
up
love
is
blueberries.
Geek Pride Day. What are
Uh,
some holidays you know about? Okay.
there's a Geek Pride Day.
I mean, there's
Is that a?
Memorial Day coming up. Why is Memorial Day not on the list?
I don't know, but Memorial Day in every country has their, I guess, Memorial Day. In Bosnia we do as well. So I don't know. Forever live the freedom and the people that fought for the right values. And even in the World War II, I guess, people that I think is connected with the World War II Memorial Day, if I'm not
Once
mistaken.
again,
And
this recording is brought to you by our non-sponsor, Quince Energy Mango Guava flavor, caffeine plus L-theanine, energy plus focus, only 20 calories, and 280 milligrams of sodium for those of you that are sodium deficient, which is approximately 12% of your daily value. So it's a great source of sodium for those of you who need your sodium to go up.
Think we
So
should
that's it.
import it to Bosnia. Like we should import it to Bosnia. We should like struck a deal with them. Let's import it to Europe. Maybe they're not even
First
in
form is
Europe.
the only thing I'm gonna import, man. If we're gonna import anything, it's gonna be first form. It's gotta be my
Let's
man
go.
Andy stuff. Um, I don't know if you are like me, but I love trying new flavors when I buy these different drinks.
I'm not, man. I'm a
90% of
loyalist.
yeah,
I'm a
90% of the
loyalist.
time I hate the drink because the flavor of like blueberry chocolate is just as nasty as you would think it is. But you know,
Look,
some
man. Starbucks go out of business in Bosnia. Listen, man. When we find a way, when we how we want to drink coffee, we'll drink it for the next 1,000 years, man. And that's it. We don't need Starbucks to tell me how much sugar I should put in or how much caramello taste or whatever and blueberry should I put in my coffee. Insane.
we had a a gentleman that we worked with who was a heavy set fella, and every day he would bring in the largest Starbucks beverage, iced. Um, it was a size that they don't even advertise. Like I didn't even know they had it until I seen him bring it. There's like
Like three
small, medium,
gallons.
large, and then there's like extra large. And it's like, you know, whatever, like 15 pumps of caramel, this whipped cream, that, you know, this stuff, that stuff. And we did the math one time and it was over 1,000. It was like close to 1,500 calories just inside that drink. So
So he doesn't eat
absolutely,
anything else that day. You can only eat maybe one sandwich and that's it.
absolutely insane. So we have a comment here. We have a couple comments. We had a Fuk Chow meeting concerning insurance and good morning, and then we had we got an all caps. Maybe somebody angry. Let's see what's going on. You and your company and your dispatchers are not even from America. They're outside of the US and the problem in this industry. I can't believe you guys are accepting loads from 60 to 70 cents RPM by our friend John Bishop. I've always liked the name John and I've liked the name Bishop. There's just something powerful about the name Bishop. I mean, I guess it's a last name, but it just sounds like somebody that it just sounds badass. For some reason, I'm imagining like in the medieval times, like the
Yeah.
bishop, man. Like, hey, say that again, and I'm gonna get the bishop involved. And then the bishop comes in, like
And the bishop is the man.
the bishop is the man, yeah.
It's probably internet like knight or warrior,
Yeah, I don't
very
know. I don't know
famous one.
about this particular fella, but I'm just commenting on the name John. You know, obviously that is our Yahya. The is it the cousin? Is it cousin or the? It's not the brother. It's the cousin. Is it the cousin of? It is cousin, right? Of
Of who?
Esau or Jesus, peace be upon him.
Oh yeah, it's cousin. It's a cousin. It's
Cousin of
Like Daija or something like that.
Dajic.
Yeah, something like that.
Right. And what's the story, man? I'm sure you know the story when he was a kid growing up. I've heard it, and other kids were playing, and he refused to play because he was concerned about the seriousness of life. Do you know that?
Not that in particular. I know that he was killed by his own people. He actually hid in the empty part of the tree, and they came back with the saw and they cut the tree in half, and he was inside, and that's how he was killed. But he was the first one that was, as they say, baptized or washed in the water of the river of Jordan, and that's why it's
Listen to
connected with
this.
the.
Always been one of my favorite stories. Listen to this. I hope
I'm
John is still
listening.
with us listening because this is beautiful. This is according to our Islamic tradition. I don't know if the same thing exists in Christianity or the same story. I mean, we're talking about the same person, so it's just a matter of, were the stories conveyed, and did they make it through in their proper form with both? But anyways, even as a child, Yahya or John, peace be upon him, did not fritter his time on silly things. Once some children invited him to play with them. He replied that they were not created for play. This showed that from even an early age, Yahya was single minded and serious about his purpose in life, which was to worship and serve God. Beautiful. That's always stuck out to me. Um, but yeah, man, we can't believe that we have to book loads for 60 to 70 cents a mile either.
Insane.
If you
Insane.
have advice for us on how to get out of having to do that from certain areas, from California, from Florida, from Texas at times, let us know. And of course, when we discuss rates, we are talking about driver rates. We're not talking about our company rates. So, if we say 70 cents, that's our driver getting 70 cents. But yeah, I mean, we're always open to learn from everybody. If you have advice, or if any viewer has advice on how to get our drivers moving from these areas without having to drop our rates, we're all ears. Whatever we need to do to help our drivers maximize their earnings, minimize their waiting times, we are all ears. We want to know about it. John, thank you for your comment. I will say it's a little bit easier when you leave it without doing the all caps. It's just, as humans, we're used to reading just normally written stuff. So when there's something in all caps, it's just, I don't know, it's harder for the brain to comprehend, or maybe it's just my foreigner brain. Maybe the American superior brains don't have a trouble with processing that. In any case, to all of our viewers, thank you very much. God bless you all. Stay safe on the road. John, visit us tomorrow again, and we're gonna try to enlighten your day once more. Okay.
A great weekend, everyone.